No human society exists without booze or religion. That's why I drink religiously.
That's fun.
Yeah. It's maybe the best line in the movie.
I think, yeah, that's actually probably the best line in this movie. If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That podcast, where we watch terrible movies so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
And I'm Jared.
Last week, we kicked off a new movie, The Darkest Hour, with the trailer trash session episode. This episode is going to be part one of our kind of in-depth breakdown. Before we get into it, though, Jared, let's want to recap us on what The Darkest Hour is all about. The
darkest hour and a half. As we will probably make that joke 100 more times because it's bad.
Yeah.
So in Moscow, 5 young people lead the charge against an alien race who have attacked Earth via our power supply. Now that I've seen it, it still doesn't make sense.
Is it? Could they attacked via the power supply, or they attacked Earth for the power supply? I think it's for the power supply.
I was the only thing I was thinking was, what if they're saying like the core of the Earth is its power supply, and so they were trying to extract? Because I don't know, like I feel like they were doing some core of the Earth stuff at some point, kind of.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
Either way, it's wicked stupid.
It's very stupid. It's very stupid.
It's frustrating.
So now that we've seen the movie, what your expectations from the trailer exceeded?
Yeah, I'm about as frustrated as I expected. There were lots of credits, like I had hoped. So I don't want to watch this again.
Yeah, and to give you an idea, I mean, we use Rotten Tomatoes to kind of give us a radar. It's sitting at 12%, so it's not that good.
Right there with Hot Tub Time Machine 2, which I would gladly watch again.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely met my expectations of being bad. So I think we're on a good start there. It's an hour. It's only like an hour and 29 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But there is definitely in the middle of the act 2, whatever. Definitely, it starts dragging. It's just like. It feels like a 2-hour like plus long movie. It's just like, what's going on? Can we just move on here?
More than that, I thought this movie just kept going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. There's so many of our movies I would watch like twice more before this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Likewise. This is pretty bad.
I'd watch Poltergeist again. That was terrible.
Oof, that was painful. I don't know. Now you're pushing it now.
I hate this movie.
We're already there. We haven't even started. You're already there.
I know.
So quick info on this. So a lot of little things going on in this movie. So
yep.
A lot of content right here. So directed by Chris Gorak. This is only his second movie he's made.
Did not direct Wanted.
Did not direct Wanted, that's an important thing to note, because in the trailer it says this movie is presented by the director of Wanted.
Right.
Who the director of Wanted is, I'm gonna screw this last name up pretty bad here, but it's Timur
go for it.
Bekmambetov.
Apologies to our Kazakh listeners.
Yeah, I butchered that. But anyways, he just produced it. He didn't direct it. So they're just trying to pull a little, fast one on the air. So
what did Chris Gorak do? Yeah.
So he directed this kind of like small, like single location movie back in 2006 called Right at Your Door. I think it was like a pandemic spore or something going on outside the world, but it was like a couple, I think, trapped inside their home.
Like The Happening?
Yeah, but it was, yeah, sure. Except they were trapped inside of a house.
Okay.
And I think the idea was that, it was like a small single location movie, and like, I haven't seen it, but I heard it was, good for what it was.
Okay.
And then 5 years later, he does this.
What a weird list of credits. Like looking at like the other things he's done. So he's the production designer on Lords of Dogtown.
Yep.
That's that skateboarding movie, isn't it?
With Emile Hirsch. Oh,
right.
Which we've talked about on this podcast before, by the way.
Yes. Wait, we talked about Emile Hirsch being in Lords of Dogtown?
Yeah. I may have edited
nature, probably.
I may have edited it at some point, but yeah.
Okay. Well, we're doing it again, so
it's happening. And in
Blade
Trinity.
Listen to Force of Nature. Yeah.
And then he was production designer in Blade Trinity. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know what the clearing is. I'm assuming that was not popular or good.
No clue. So he takes his leap into directing, but it's like 2006 he directed something that was decent apparently, and then this he gets and does, and it's
this. Yeah, I don't.
Sorry, Chris.
Dumb.
Keep
terrible.
Keep poking. Keep going. But he hasn't directed anything since, so it's been 10 years. So maybe he's
great retired finally. Yeah,
he's retired. Maybe he's moved on. I don't know. He's got nothing else going on here. So
I hope he got a job doing anything else that's not directing movies.
And I hope he's enjoying it.
I don't hope he's enjoying it.
Oh boy, we're headed there already.
I think I'm at the point of wishing bad things on Chris Gorak. If you want to be on the podcast, just let us know.
Let us know.
Send us an email.
What are you up to? So screenwriters. So this is another interesting group of folks here. So screenwriters, we have John Spates, Leslie Bohm, and M.T. Ahern. M.T. Ahern has done nothing else. This is the only thing they've done. So it might just be like
that's a pseudonym.
Yeah, it totally is, right? Like for someone else who wrote the story. I don't know. Again, it's amazing that it takes like 3 people to write stories like this because it's copy paste from another movie that's already existed.
Well, so you have to wonder, or at least I always wonder in situations like that, is it somebody wrote it first and it was bad enough that they were like, we need someone else to fix this.
Yeah,
and then they screwed it up more. And they're like, all right, we got to get John Spates in here.
That's actually, I think that's pretty common, right? Where they're listed as a credit for the original story or whatever, and then it wasn't good. And then someone else comes in and does their draft. And then another person comes in and does their draft.
It's artist foul all over again.
Yeah. So then, going kind of moving up the list here. So Leslie Bohm, this is a fun one. So she has been around for a long time. Late 80s, kind of got her start on Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Whoa, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, in 89, right? And
did you see that one?
No. And then 93 Nowhere to Run, which is I think a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, which I've definitely seen.
Your favorite.
Yep. JCVD, man, all day long. Nowhere to Run. Mm-hmm. And then she did 2 more movies in the late 90s. Daylight.
My favorite. Oh.
Yep. She did Daylight with Sylvester Stallone, the Trapped in a Tunnel movie.
Yep.
And then she did Jared's favorite, Dante's Peak.
Yes. Amazing. Pierce Brosnan's best movie.
Which definitely came up in La Valantula, which everyone should go listen to that episode.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Doing a lot of self-promotion in this episode. I like it.
Big time. So she
also worked on Chris Gorak's Taken TV miniseries there.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. The whole connection comes back. So, and she's got a bunch of, other TV series stuff. So she's been working for a long time.
Okay.
Good for her.
Gainfully employed.
So then we move on to the third writer of this, and it's John Spates. Now, this is a fun one because this is his first screenplay he's done, is this movie, The Darkest Hour, right? Then so his next movie he worked on the next year is Prometheus.
Yeah, which...
How?
What?
You've written an Alienation invasion flick, why don't you?
Yeah, does not track.
Right? And then 4 years later, he worked on Doctor Strange.
Which, unbelievable. Like he probably made a bucket of money on that one.
Yeah. And then he moved up again. 2016, he did, same time, he did Passengers, which I have not seen, but you've seen, said it was,
huge. Yeah, that was big budget.
And then he did a couple of things, obviously I've never heard of these things. And he did The Mummy 2017, the Tom Cruise, reboot of The Mummy.
Did you see that one?
I did not. Did you?
No.
Yeah. And then 4 years later, he's worked on a screenplay for Dune. Like the most anticipated sci-fi movie, like of all time right now.
Yeah. He's attached to a reboot of Dune, a reboot of Van Helsing, and some Justice League movie. Like
Justice League Dark. Like
what is it? I don't get it.
I'm just hoping the 10 years from The Darkest Hour, he's learned a lot because
I hope. Yeah, I don't know.
So that's what we got for the crew of screenwriters here. So moving on. So actors, this again another mixed bag of actors. So we have Emile Hirsch, who plays Sean.
I thought was good in Force of Nature. Like as far as Force of Nature goes, being as horrendous as it was, Emile Hirsch was the best part, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point I've seen Emile Hirsch in enough things where I think he's not a good actor. He's just Emile Hirsch. He's a Wendy's hamburger.
He's got the hamburger head. Yep.
A hamburger head, and he's just, I'm Emile Hirsch and I'm here. And it's like, oh, hey, it's Emile Hirsch.
Yeah, well established. Yeah.
I just don't, it's just like, oh, there's
Hey, it's me. I'm in movies.
Yeah. Oh, there he is in Girl Next Door. Cool. That's Emile Hirsch. Oh, here he is in this movie. It's Emile Hirsch. Like he's nothing special, but he ends up in these movies. So
hey, Emile Hirsch, you are special. Don't let Russ tell you otherwise.
Don't listen to Jared. And then we get Olivia Thirlby, who plays Natalie. She hasn't been really much that I know of.
Yeah, this is probably a reason for that.
Yeah. Max Minghella. He plays Ben, who's Emile Hirsch's buddy. He's been in a handful of things. He was in the new Spiral movie, apparently, the Saw spinoff with Chris Rock.
Like a movie.
Rachael Taylor, she's Anne. She's Natalie's friend. Rachael Taylor now, she was in the very first Transformers back in 2007.
Okay.
And then fast forward to a couple of years ago, and she plays Jessica Jones' friend, Trish Walker, I really enjoyed that show. It's pretty great. So
yeah, it's been on my list for a while.
Yeah, definitely. The first season's gory, but great.
Okay, interesting.
So she's in this. Then we get Joel Kinnaman, who
I don't recognize.
Yeah, he's got a face you love to hate. He plays Skylar, who's I guess like a buddy of Ben and Sean's of some sort or whatever, investor in there. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Business douche. Yeah.
And then the last kind of like main character we have is, and hopefully I get this right. I did pretty well beforehand, but Veronica Vernadskaya.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Pretty good, right? She plays Vika, and she's important in the second half of the movie.
Vika, dude. Come on.
Oh, Vika. Yeah, Vika. Okay. I'm going to screw that up.
That's okay.
So that's that's the gang. There's other people, but it doesn't matter. Production budget, box office. So this is a fun one. So production budget of this movie was $34 million, $34,800,000.
Unbelievable. Like on what? You don't even have bankable stars in this one. That's what I'm like. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the travel to Russia.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Now, hold on to your armchair there. Hold on to your your socks, because you ready for the breakdown of how much money this movie made?
I'm not wearing socks, Russ.
Hold on to your sandals, because they're about to pop off.
Give it to me.
This movie worldwide, globally made $64 million.
What? How? When? I don't know. I just did some quick math here. That's almost 18,000 fanatics. How?
I have no idea. So the breakdown for this is because now we got really interested in this. So domestically it made 21 million, internationally it made 41 million, and then it did almost 10 million in just DVD sales.
Truly unbelievable.
Like home market stuff. So yeah, and that's
this is like a dollar bin kind of movie.
Yeah, 100%. This is so mind-blowing. This movie did very well for the budget.
Ugh. Fine.
And somehow the director of it hasn't worked since.
Yeah, weird how that works. Yeah, it's been 10 years, huh?
Yeah.
Long 10 years for Chris Gorak.
So that wasn't so much quick info, because there was, I think, a lot of interesting tidbits in here, a lot of interesting things behind the scenes of actors and writers and directors and what's going on there. So
the slowest info we've ever done.
Yeah, I think slow info. And I think this might be the most profitable movie we've watched.
Probably actually, yeah.
Maybe Artemis Fowl.
Well, that was direct to Disney Plus, so
we have no idea, and probably wasn't. Yeah, that's right. And the budget on that was probably, I mean, it was 3 times this, right? At least 4 times, maybe.
Yeah, probably. I bet like Little Italy was probably like the most profitable movies, besides this one, right?
like in like a budget to revenue like ratio.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway,
all right. So there you go. So let's move on. So we get Hollywood pitch. What do you got?
Okay. So do you remember 80s movie Pulse?
No.
You never saw that one?
I don't think so. No. Who's in it?
Lawrence brothers, Joey and Matthew.
Wow. Whoa.
Don't whoa me. Yeah.
You can't mention the Lawrence brothers and not get a whoa. Come on.
Fair enough. Yeah, both the good Lawrence brothers. I know there's other ones.
There's like 15 of them, isn't there?
There's too many, yeah. And then no one else that I have ever has gone on to do anything as far as I know. I don't know if you know Roxanne Hart.
No.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. So, okay, wait. Best known for her role in Highlander, so that makes sense.
Like the original Highlander, like the original Highlander.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That movie.
Yeah, no, me too. But I couldn't name actors from that movie.
No, I mean other than Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's right.
Yeah. Everyone else is a.
You should. Anyway. Anyways, yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Pulse. Since you haven't seen it, basically, it's the only other movie I could think of that has an electricity monster. It's like the premise. The premise is stupid. It's like there's a electric pulse on the loose. That's like
the end.
Yeah, there's an aggressive electric intelligence, I guess, in like the California electrical grid, and it goes from house to house, and then makes people kill themselves or takes over an appliance and kills them, all that kind of fun stuff.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's real bad. It's awful. Way better than this movie, but still not good.
But not good, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Pulse meets Hungerford. And the reason why I say
love the use of a movie we've done. I love it.
Yeah. Again, more self-promotion. Go listen to the Hungerford episode.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good for your ears.
Yeah, good for your ears. That was recent. And that one mostly because one, it's a kind of a horror movie that's not scary, which is the same as this. There's nothing scary about this movie at all.
No.
No. And I know it's not billed as a horror movie, but it had moments where they kind of tried to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unsuccessfully.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also another movie that felt way longer than it is,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing happens. There's no plot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, those are all valid points. Yeah.
Thank you.
I bet.
And anytime I can talk about Matthew Lawrence,
well, yeah, no, yeah, I mean that's a first, I think, on the show. So
yeah. Shout out to Matthew Lawrence. If you want to be on the podcast, I guess I can insult you, but
yeah, I don't know if I want to.
I like Matthew Lawrence. No,
yeah, I got no problems. I wonder what he's up to these days.
Yeah, good on Boy Meets World.
Yeah, great on it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's good. I'm into it.
Yeah. What do you got for me?
All right. I went big here. I went big. You ready for this?
Sure.
War of the Worlds meets Speed.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna say it the way you hate meets Speed 1.
Nice. I don't hate that. Thais hates that.
Oh, Thais hates that. Okay, yeah.
So shout out to Thais. I'm sorry for Russ.
I'm sorry for Russ. So War of the Worlds meets Speed 1. I'm going War of the Worlds because alien kind of invasion thing, even though the aliens were on the planet.
Sure.
But
the aliens in that were good.
Yeah, the aliens were very good in that. That movie I really like that movie.
Sure. Yeah.
And Mostly because the first time someone dies in this movie, it reminded me of how people get zapped in that movie. They just turn to dust. Remember, they get
Oh yeah,
they get zapped and their clothes are just there and there's like dust kind of floating around.
you talking about the Tom Cruise one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So War of the Worlds meets Speed, and then Speed just because I don't know. There's a big bus situation at the end of this movie.
That's what.
That's it. That is the only connection.
I actually, now that you're saying that, I almost I think I might have written in my notes somewhere, I was like, this is like Speed. Because the bus is out of control.
Yeah. She can't stop it and she's trying to get around curves, and there's she's driving the bus and he's in the back fighting aliens, and I was like, this is
Oh, you're right, that's a good one.
So that's it.
Great work, team.
Yeah, I think that I feel good about that. I feel good about all that all around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into fast facts. This is gonna be quick because there's only a couple of them here.
Yeah, fact man.
Not a lot of good stuff here. So this movie was shot in 3D, as opposed to being converted, like post conversion.
Okay.
Which is
I guess
usually movies, they should have just done that. I don't know why they usually you shoot it in 3D with the intention of doing things that are like purposely 3D, but there was not really a lot of things in this movie that would be worthwhile having in 3D.
I mean, if you were wondering where $30 million went,
you're right. That is
they're like, oh, you know what we need? 3D cameras.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah. So there's 25 million.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we got to recoup this somehow.
And they did. So plan worked.
Okay.
They also had a planned 2-week break in the middle of production because I guess there was some crazy air pollution thing going on from wildfires that were surrounding Moscow in 2010.
Interesting. Oh,
so they had like a planned like 2-week break in middle of production, and it was so bad. Apparently, the air pollution was so bad. Some of it carried over into some of the scenes they shot, and they had to digitally remove it.
Oh, interesting.
Why not just keep it?
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but why not just keep it?
Yeah, it would have helped probably.
It would have helped.
I would think.
So then you wouldn't have had to use shitty CG to everything else.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and then the last one, the crew, because they shot most of this, I think all of it in Russia, thanks to Timur there, the director of Wanted, who presented this movie. The crew is
luckily like thank you for this. I appreciate
you, Timur. Yeah, thank you. The crew is split up to 30% American and 70% Russian. So,
neat.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's it. Those are fast, right?
Yeah, that was pretty fast. Why not lived up to its name for a change? Right? Slow info and fast facts.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to call it, there's a really funny goof that I've dug up on the internet. And I mean, we could talk about when we get to the end, but there's apparently a really the planet is supposed to be kind of ravaged, and there's not a lot of survivors, right?
Sure.
The very end, when they're spoilers, by the way, when they're climbing onto the submarine. There's an apartment building in the background, and on the top floor you can see people walking around on the balcony.
Sick.
Nice.
Very nice.
It's like, no, wait, there's more survivors. Go get them.
I mean, yeah, clearly, because again, spoilers, but like they go out of their way to bring back one person who doesn't matter at all. So, like, why not those people on the balcony? Yeah.
Because they're not supposed to be there. So that's it. So I don't know. You want to get into this? You ready?
I guess so. Yeah. Well, do we have to?
Yeah. No. I mean, we could just stop it now and just be like, you know what?
All right. Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Very special that this meets that.
Yeah. We'll see you for part 2.
Yeah.
We'll just jump in halfway through.
It's only 20 minutes long. No. We're gonna go through this gruelingly, and you have to. We're gonna hold your hand through this whole situation.
You have to listen. Yeah,
you have to listen. You're in too far. All right, so let's do it. So opening credits. It opens up with our legit companies here. We get Summit, we get Regency, all legit, right?
I was about to say no money laundering here, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We got some listeners in Russia. If you're out there, tell us what you think about where the $30 million went on this movie.
No, I don't think they're going to tell us.
Probably not.
Yep.
No, and we just alienated them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think if we have some men show up at our doors in tracksuits who don't speak English, we might have a problem.
Oh, good. I started alienating them, and you finish.
Hey, set and spike. That's how you got to do it.
Perfect.
That's how you do in Top Gun.
Yeah, the famous volleyball movie.
Yep. That happens to have jets in it. Russians in that too. All right. All comes back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of like the way they did the credits with the Russian and turning it into English.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. So like they're showing the credits of characters' names and stuff like this, and it starts out in Russian and then like does like a switch over translation to English, which I was like kind of laughed at it, but I was like, it's kind of fun, whatever.
The old switcheroo.
And then there's like and during the credits was like this animation of like a galactic map, I guess. Right? It was like weird, and it was like there were stars, and I don't know what exactly.
Sci-fi.
I don't know what exactly was trying to. It was just saying maybe this is where these things are coming from. I don't know.
Oh, you're giving it way too much credit. I think.
All right.
Look, this is a space movie.
Yeah,
space.
That's a good point.
Have some assorted space.
Taking a quick step back, why is it called The Darkest Hour?
Because it's dark. Everything's dark.
But for longer than
all the
an hour.
lights. All the lights go out
for longer than an hour, right? Maybe that's some weird.
I think it's a play on talking about like the darkest hour of like humanity.
Okay.
The darkest. It's a play on words, Russ.
Thanks. I'm too stupid for that shit. So okay.
Yeah, I know.
that's
why I'm here.
That's right.
Yeah. The darkest hour is expression.
I just look at the clock and try to keep things moving, and I'm bad at that too. So then we're zooming. Then we start zooming in on Earth, and then we're zooming in on a plane.
Yeah, which I got a goof for you. Did you notice the many different planes we get in this scene?
Yeah, it kind of jumps from like a 737 to like something else, right?
To a giant plane, like a 777 or something, and then when it lands in a few minutes, it's another different plane.
A different.
Like, why would you switch planes 3 times?
Just pick the one that works that you need, and just
like the easiest way to do any kind of consistency.
Right.
Anyway, you have to like actively try to do that differently.
Oh my God. So now we're in the plane ride, and immediately we're on Emile and his buddy here, so Sean and Ben, right? Mm-hmm. Either lucky enough to have 3 seats where no one's sitting in the middle seat, or did they buy the entire row?
Like it's 2011. It's not like this is like, why would there be empty planes? I don't know.
Right? Like every other seat is taken except for this one in between them. So, and everyone's kind of sleeping, whatever. Emile's sitting there playing video games on his phone.
Mm-hmm. Which, why is he playing a Dora the Explorer game?
I don't know. And I was like, is that a Dora the Explorer game? I don't know. It looked like a shooter of some sort. I was like, is that what it is? But
I'm so confused. Yeah.
I was confused too. I was like, is this going to be important to anything? Nope. And then we get a flight attendant comes over and tells him he's got to shut off his phone. I think she even says, she says, I've already asked you to do this once, I think so. Well,
they just had the announcement over the radio that was like, everyone turn off your devices.
And she's just doing her job and telling him like, hey, can you shut that off? Because it, messes with the plane's navigation system. And immediately Emile goes into mansplaining, douchey rant about how.
Does it really?
I was immediately like, I want this plane to crash and hopefully only he dies.
Yeah.
He's going on his douchey rant about how like, everyone thinks that everyone's like, yeah, why are you making me shut off my phone? Right. But anyway.
Yeah. So irritating. And then
great way to intro your, I guess like, okay, he's going to grow and become someone we actually care about. But I was like, nah, I don't think so. No.
Yeah. And then weirdly, like this is another like trope that I hate of like, he's being a huge jerk. And then she starts like kind of flirting with him. like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like have some self-respect.
Yeah. And it's just like, kid, put your Dora the Explorer video game away. What are you, 30? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. And she's in, that's when he does the line where he's like, Yeah, because she's got her arms crossed because she's angry at him. She's like,
Yeah.
Uncross your arms if you agree. If you disagree with me. And she kept her
Smiles
arms crossed and was
smiles,
like,
and it's
"Oh,
like,
yeah, stop
garbage.
it."
Garbage.
Mhm.
Which one of you three writers put that in there? Anyway, so and then all of a sudden the power goes on the plane,
Yep, suddenly, and everything's fine.
and then it's back.
Like, I also hated that because it's very heavy-handed, like beating you over the head with like, oh, I bet power is going to be important in this movie since you read the description. Like, okay, we get it. Save it.
Got it. And then we're power's back on a plane. They land in a different plane, and then we're in the airport. And I guess this was kind of just to give you an idea between Ben and Sean, like who they are and how they know each other and like how close they are. I guess I don't know. It was like a really quick scene, and like they're suited up, and clearly Emile's character Sean is like a schlub. He's got like, coming out of the bathroom, he's putting his suit over his shirt, and he's got a hole in his jacket, and
doing some Sharpie business on his jacket there.
Which so it's like clearly
cover the hole. I didn't get that.
I didn't either. And then clearly he's just doesn't have his shit together. And okay, got it. And then they're in a cab ride, and I don't know what this music was, but
yeah. Well, also for the listeners, Russ and I were talking about it right before this, but like I don't think we know their names until maybe halfway through the movie. Like we're calling them Ben and Sean, but like we have no clue who they are until way later.
Yeah. No, any character's name you don't know until much, much, much later into the movie. I had no idea his name was Sean. I had no idea his name was Ben. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so little character development, you don't even get to know their names.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Anyway,
so then
they're in a cab.
Yeah, and they like cue some music. I don't know what this music was.
It's Russian music. I was into it.
Okay, that makes sense.
They're trying to spoon feed to you everything in this movie. So they're like, "We're in Russia. We're in Russia. We're in Russia. Don't forget, we're in Russia."
Right. Come visit the motherland. So they're going to cab ride through Moscow, and then bunch of exposition as to why they're in Moscow, right? So apparently they built an app, or Ben had an idea for an app or something.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of exposition, but I also didn't get it. Like they were talking about expansion plans for something.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get it either. Because like basically they came up with this app which Ben throws like in a 2-sentence line. He talks about, it's called Globetrot, right?
Right. Yep.
And the app is supposed to help you find the hottest clubs in town. Is that? Was that what it was?
I thought so. I wasn't sure because I couldn't tell if it was finding hot clubs or if it was supposed to be a hookup app for foreigners in foreign cities.
That makes sense. I mean, either way, right? So it's like finding the hottest clubs.
Either way, it's stupid.
Yes. But it works in a BlackBerry, which, by the way, lots of Blackberries in this movie.
Yeah, shout out to BlackBerry out there.
Second movie we've talked about Blackberries. They're huge.
Yeah, they're doing big 5G things. I don't know, man. I'm hot on BlackBerry now. They're coming back.
Jesus.
5G, baby.
It's all about the 5G.
You got your vaccine.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You're fine.
Yeah, it's that kind of podcast now.
So they've built this app apparently, and they're heading to Russia to go to expand into Moscow and get more funding. Which now it's like, oh, you're going to get that Russian money.
Sorry, wait. For the record, I also got a vaccine. I'm pro vaccine. I don't want people to think that we are that kind of podcast. Actually,
no. Definitely, we're all vaxxed up here.
I'm backpedaling on that one. Go get your vaccine. It's good for everyone. Do it.
Yes. ITMT is strong supporters of vaccinations. Go get them. Yeah. We've. I say lots of weird
things on the show, but that's not what I want to let slide.
Yeah, nice backpedal, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't edit that out.
We'll see.
My fate is in your hands.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're software designers.
I guess, right? Software designers.
Is a term.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Is it like less talented engineers? Like,
yeah, I don't think that's a job description anywhere. And then we get a good funny line where he's like, and we learn more about characters, right? So Emile Hirsch, I don't know how this transaction happens, but he's just like, hey, have I ever let you down? And Ben's like, yeah, you have.
It's not funny. It's sad.
It's super sad, but I was laughing. I was like, oh, that's pretty cold, but yeah, okay. Yeah. So this kid sucks.
I noted that too. I was like, what a weird heart to heart. like, oh, Ben's been let down at some point.
Yeah. But clearly they've known each other long enough to let each other down. And then they pull up to office building. Emile, teamwork makes the dream work, you know? And then they head into the office building and we get him, Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah. I don't know who he is, but I also don't like him after this movie.
Right? You can see his face and you're just like,
he's got like a real like
punchable
like Draco Malfoy kind of vibe. Yeah. Like I just want to punch him. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Hollywood needs that. So they walk in this board meeting or this funding meeting is already happening, right?
Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman's like, whoa, what are you boys doing here, you know? And basically,
you didn't get my email?
Yeah, it looks like well, you didn't check your BlackBerry?
Yeah. No, we were on a plane.
Yeah.
To here for this.
Even though he was in the cab, like flipping through his BlackBerry phone and like looking at the app, and then like, what, you didn't see the email? Come on.
No, he's too busy looking for sexy singles in his area
via Globetrot. So it basically looks like Joel stole their idea.
Yep.
And then we get a great line here, right? Great exchange of a couple lines here, right? It's not great.
They're not great.
No, but I mean, I'm saying that, you know.
Yep.
So then Joel Kinnaman says to them, Skylar, right? He says, yeah, maybe next time you should send an NDA. Which to Emile Hirsch responds, you mean the non-douchebag disclosure agreement?
Which, yeah, I don't. Awful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, classic Russians stole their app. No offense to our Russian listeners.
Hey, that's business, you know? And then we learn Joel Kinnaman's name. Actually, he's the only character whose name we learn immediately.
No, wait, we do? I didn't know. I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, no, I think we learn it right here. His name is Skylar.
Okay. I think I was confused immediately. I thought, Skylar is a unisex name, but I in my mind, anytime they said Skylar, they were talking about one of the women characters. Like, I don't until about halfway through, and then I was like, "Oh wait, he's Skylar." Oh,
so they have this showdown. Skylar, Joel Kinnaman here, his character has stolen their idea.
Welcome to Moscow.
Welcome to Moscow. This is how it works. So, thing we need to point out right now, he doesn't have an accent.
No, I picked out a little bit, but I thought it was a Russian accent. I thought he was playing a Russian guy.
Yeah, because he can speak Russian. He's speaking Russian to everyone else in the room, right?
Right. Yep.
And so maybe he is. Maybe I think he's a Russian character, but he's got like a kind of an accent, but not really here-ish.
And I think you were right at the beginning, or when we talked about it, maybe before we started recording. I don't think he is a Russian character, because they comment on it later where they're like, "Oh, at least he understands some Russian." So like, I think you're right.
Right. Yeah.
He just has like a nondescript, like European accent of some kind.
Which that's important. We want to call that because it's important, because later it just disappears and he's just like from Oklahoma.
And,
or something. I don't know.
And then comes back briefly and then disappears again.
It comes back super strong in one scene. I'm like, wait, is he supposed to have an accent? Is he supposed to be somewhere from like somewhere else?
Yeah, it's like the Great Wall, the Matt Damon one. You've seen that one, right? Have we talked about the accent before?
I have not watched that.
Oh, lucky you. It's the accent work is truly excellent. Like it's something real special.
I'm like kind of fearful to like suggest that we watch that one for the show, but
I would watch it again, and it was real bad. It was very, very bad. It could definitely be a podcast contender.
All right, to the future. All right, so
add it to the list.
Put it on the list. So So then Skylar here, he's just like, all right, I'm going to call security, get these guys out of here, because that happens. Also, why are these two going to like a meeting like this for expansion, all this? And like, no lawyer, nothing else, just the two of them. Like, this isn't how business works. Come on, grow up.
I don't think it's one of those ones where it's like,
you deserve your idea to get stolen.
Yes. I don't think anyone in any of these movies has like ever had a job. Like, I don't know. Like anyone who wrote these movies, like has never had a job other than screenwriting or like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Just do a slate research. Like who should be involved in a meeting and figure out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or just assume it's a bunch of people. There's like two people in the room and they're like, well, I guess we don't need you anymore. And you're like, wait, why?
Yeah. Anyway. And then we quickly cut to just the two. Well, they're not American girls because one of them is, I think, Australian or supposed to be from Australia. Or
I think she's supposed to be British in the movie. But she is Australian in real life. Yeah.
Rachael Taylor, the actress who plays Anne, who for the longest, I think through the entire movie is called Annie.
The whole movie, yeah.
Who we don't hear her name, by the way, here at all. So it's like our two main leading lady characters there. So Olivia Thirlby and Rachael Taylor.
Like
just hanging out
at the Kremlin or something.
Yeah, no, it's nighttime. They're just hanging out outside, walking around, or like talking, and then they come across. I guess they come
at Lenin's tomb, taking selfies in front
of. Yeah, being that.
Yeah.
Obnoxiousness. What was the connection? We should step back here because when he's in the cab, when Ben is in the cab, by the way, we don't know his name yet, but when he's flipping through his phone, he does come across one of them, right?
Yeah, and that's why I thought that that Globetrot app was a dating app and not like a club app because I think they were setting up this meeting through the app.
Right. That's right. Yeah, but it's important that we call that out because like so he definitely like contacted or connected or something with her. And
you could totally miss it. It's not very clear.
And there's a whole conversation. There's a whole conversation. Emile Hirsch is like, why would I come all the way to Russia just to hook up with American girls? That's why I was like, oh, are they both American? And then they're not both American girls, but
right. Yep.
Anyways, so they're taking selfies and they come across the matching, and then they're like, oh, one of them's cute, and
and the other one's going to turn me into a human lampshade.
Yeah,
so, Jesus.
And immediately, that's
what a ruthless!
Wow, like
tone it down, Annie. Like, come on, it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, take a deep breath, relax. Which I mean, that kind of shows her character because for the rest of the movie, she's making decisions kind of based on it. Right? She's very doubtful of the group later on. She's kind of doing her own thing. She doesn't trust anyone there. So
yeah, good writing. Good writing.
Yeah, I'm giving him too much credit again, aren't I?
Stop it.
Yeah. And then we get some really shitty music and shots of the city again, and then this is a transition to a club.
Ominously birds fly away. Like it's like there's like, oh, like I bet there's something electrical happening somewhere.
Right.
And it's like the music's like dum dum.
Because birds can sense that stuff. They're dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then it switches to the club. Yeah.
So then we're in a club.
And we get some gem lines like, son, peep the kiosk. And I was like, what? I was like, what does that mean? Like there's no kiosk, I don't think, in the club. Like
a kiosk where you buy something? Like what?
Isn't a kiosk like a banana stand? I don't know.
Yeah, it's always like a little station where you can purchase something, right? Goods of some sort. Kiosk.
That's what I thought. Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Like sandwiches or like a snack or like I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't like call that out? Is it like that didn't bother you?
No. I mean, it all bothered me, but no, I didn't catch that one particularly. Yeah. So,
the dialogue in this movie is atrocious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, the boys are getting their drink on. They're a little saddened about their whole encounter with Skylar and getting basically booted out of their own idea or their idea stolen.
Who I just called Shady Tech Guy for the first half until I learned that was Skylar.
Yeah. And then, so Ben is kind of like playing like the straight-laced, uptight, guy, right? And then Emile's character is kind of like cool, calm, collected, but, obviously things are disorganized in his life.
Yeah, it's a real Richie and Fonzie situation.
Yeah. And then he drops the old line of like, because he's, his buddy Ben is so worried, and he's like, hey, he's like, why are you so cool about this, whatever? And he's like, because I'm used to screwing up more than you. It's like, okay, all right,
we get it.
Yep. And then it's just shots of people dance around, and then the guys checking out some lady, and Skylar swoops in.
Yep.
Like a villain.
Yep. Oh, hello, lady. I do my Ben Shapiro voice.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, what are you doing here?
Oh, man, that guy's here. Oh, man.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, not interested. Go away, please. I don't know. Like the way they all meet is so pointless and stupid in this movie. Like none of the characters should have anything to do with each other. Yeah,
because then they're all at the club, and then the Emile and Ben, they spot the two girls, and he's like, "Oh, those are two girls on the app."
Yeah,
and then they just walk over to them.
So it's not even an app. So this is this is 2011. We had smartphones. Real smartphones existed.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
Like I think 2011 was when I got my first Android phone. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like real smartphones exist, and they're not even talking about an app. He's just like, oh yeah, the globetrot.com. And you're like, why is it like, are you doing the Facebook thing? Like
the Facebook thing.
The globetrot.com,
Yeah. I would also like to call out at this point, like, this is where it's very clear that the acting is very terrible.
Yes.
Like,
yes. They have no chemistry. They don't have chemistry they can fake.
Yeah. They're just a bunch of stick figures kind of just doing things with BlackBerries.
Yeah, it's like reading Family Circus. But those characters actually have chemistry, so never mind.
So there's one quick moment between Skylar and the boys here. They kind of face off for a bit because Skylar spots him and they talk, and he's just like, oh yeah, well, you should have done, been cooler, right? And he's like, hey, nice shirt to Sean, to Emile's character, and Emile's like, thanks, your mom left it in my room.
I'm gonna turn you into a lampshade.
And then the guys spot the American girls, and then they go over and talk to them, and then this just felt like such a weird interaction.
With the bartender, or what is that we're going to?
I mean, all of this, like
yes,
our guys and our girls finally meeting up, right? Because then we got our pod of 4 who's going to like basically travel through the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird. I don't know if it's the way it's shot or the dialogue or probably all of it, but it's just
all of it. It was confusing.
It was so awkward and confusing. And
the camera angles shuffled around a bunch, like in weird ways that I wasn't expecting, and like
the placement of everyone was just like, maybe you should have figured this out differently. I don't know. It was really strange.
Yeah.
And then you had some really gems of lines, like they're trying to order from the bartender, and like someone's like, one of the girls like, anyone speak Russian? And then Emile's character's like, yeah, only what we learned from Rocky IV, and everyone's like laughing, like that's like some big joke. I'm like, what?
What? It's 2011. Like these are young people. They're not going to think that's funny.
Yeah, no one's going to get that.
Yeah. Good Rocky IV joke.
Yeah. That's like a joke I would make, and maybe one other friend would get it and no one else would care. And I'd be like, yeah, that's about right. That sounds about right.
And even then they wouldn't be like laughing hysterically about it. They'd go, ha!
Yeah.
And then leave it.
Yeah. Leave it. 'Cause it's not funny. You move on.
Right.
I sit there and I'm like, okay, well, I'll try again.
Yeah, and then it's also, I think the other thing that made the exchange really weird too, that I don't know if you picked up on, but like we get a tiny bit of backstory from Natalie here too.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
She's like, yeah, I quit my job and like left a note for my mom, and then ran away to Moscow to meet some guy. like what? Like, what does that mean? What? Like, it's not like the Soviet Union. Like, you can't defect to. to like, what do you mean? You just why did you quit your job? Like, why wouldn't you just go for a little trip? Or
there's tons of character exposition here. Like,
are they being sex trafficked? Like, I don't like,
and it all unfolds in like a very short period of time between complete strangers. Like, they literally just met.
Yeah, at best. Well, they met through the globetrot.com. So
right. The globetrot.com. Yeah, so it's just really awkward, and like a lot of character exposition, kind of bouncing around on characters, and like other characters calling out what other characters like what their personality or character traits are. Which I was like, you literally just met this person. Would you? I mean,
oh, you're the clever one.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, you're the one with a lot of anxiety. Okay, I got that covered. You're the like they're just
you're the one who dies first. Like, okay.
Yeah. Clearly, Emile's character has a lot of commitment issues. Cool. Guess we're calling that out too.
Literally, I think he says explicitly something along the lines of, you got a lot of commitment issues.
Yeah, like literally just says it. So, quick point about this. So, I read a quick interview on between. It was with Ben, the actor who plays Ben, and the actress who plays, or the actor who plays Ben, and the actor plays Natalie. And in their interview, they were talking about like their character background stories, and apparently the actors just made them all up themselves, and was like,
"No shit."
That's got it.
Like,
yeah, that fills it all in.
I quit my job and ran away to Russia.
What?
Okay.
Let's get professionals in here.
So then, selfie to power outage, right?
Yep.
From the trailer.
Yep. From the trailer. So power goes out. Everyone's kind of freaking out a little bit. And then everyone, I think it just jumps right to everyone just being outside the club, right? Like everyone in terms of like everyone that's inside the club, we're all outside standing around.
Like hundreds of people. Yeah.
Yes. And then
big crowd.
Everyone's looking up in the sky, kind of like, oh, what's going on? Checking the Blackberries. The phones are dead. Because
very Hungerford.
A lot of Blackberry shots, by the way. And then this is where we get like a little bit from the trailer, but this is when we get like those orange yellow orb things kind of floating down from the sky, and people are like kind of like mesmerized, and it's like, oh, this is what's going on.
Yep. The last time there were good special effects in this movie.
Yeah. This is pretty much it. And then one drops down and kind of gets bigger.
Yep.
At first I thought they were really small, and then it gets bigger and it like just floats in the crowd, and like the crowd's spreads out into like a big circle.
Yeah, there's probably like the size of like, I don't know, like a small, like a smart car.
Yeah.
About the size of a smart car.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect analogy size.
Yeah, you're welcome. Listeners, if you're not driving at the moment and you don't know what a smart car is, go look it up and come back.
Is the perfect
size. You have an idea of scale.
Yes, which is important. So then the crowd's kind of spread out a bit, and this comes from the trailer as well, right? So the cop kind of one of the Russian officers approaches, and he goes to poke it with his baton, and then boom, zap, he's just dusted.
Yep.
Gonzo.
Neat.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, except his shoe and his hat. It's the only time they do that too. The rest of the movie, anytime someone gets
everything
vaporized,
else goes, right?
The whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But this time it's like, oh no, just a couple accessories.
Yeah. I think at this point I was really hoping that like more people were going to get zapped. I mean, people start getting zapped, but I was like, come on.
It wasn't enough. Yeah. It wasn't enough. More death. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of up the scales of like what we're dealing with here. Other cop decides to shoot it. And this is where we get some slow-mo bullet time thing, and the bullet gets dusted. And I was like, oh man, are we going to get a lot of this slow-mo stuff? It was the only time we saw it, I think.
Yep.
Maybe one.
Oh, there's one more slow. Yeah, there's one more later.
Okay.
I'm remembering exactly what it is.
And then everyone goes crazy and starts running, and now people start kind of getting dusted left and right, like, three of them.
Yep.
Because that's like
and then like
budget.
Our crew here, our heroes, they try hiding in the club somewhere, and then like the thing obviously breaks down the door. And this is a weird inconsistency too. So it's Emile Hirsch and some stranger that are like trying to, prevent the breaking down of the door here.
Yeah.
The electric monster busts in, and then instead of vaporizing this guy like it does with everyone else, he just gets kind of like it looks like he might be a little bit electrocuted.
Yeah.
And then the body just like sits there.
Well, so this is also from the trailer too, because like this is where the glass wall thing was breaking, because like the glass and the door and everything else like around the door, like it all busts in. I don't know where the water came from, but then all of a sudden like the floor was like wet.
Yeah.
And this guy and Emile Hirsch are on the ground, like in the water. The other guy looks like he's just dead. And Emile Hirsch gets up, I don't forget who pulls him up or whatever. He gets up and gets out of the water, and then the electric monster comes in and like electrocutes the water, which zaps the guy.
Right. Stupid. Like inconsistent with the rest of the movie.
Yes, like 100%. Like
yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, and we get alien vision here. I think this is
we get a little bit of alien.
First time alien vision, and it looks pretty terrible.
Yep. And then it wouldn't be Russia if people weren't throwing around Molotov cocktails.
Right?
Like the whole movie, everyone's tossing Molotov cocktails everywhere.
Left and right, but I love it's the bartender who's just like out of nowhere. Here comes a Molotov cocktail.
Yep.
And it seems like it kind of distracts the alien a little bit and like, keeps him safe. But like everyone's kind of pressed against the bar now. And then,
the thing screams, which is like funny and weird. That also doesn't really happen again.
Yeah, it does, right? I was like wondering what. Yeah, this was like a little chaotic.
Like a Howard Dean style.
Then it like blasts the bar, right? Like trying to attack the bartender.
Somehow it has like blasters, like everything. I think that they made this scene for the trailer, and then they were like, all right, we'll come back and finish it later. And then when they came back to finish it later, they forgot what they wrote about the aliens in the first scene.
Yeah.
And then because just none of these things happen ever again.
No.
Like,
nope. No. Zero consistency there. So, and then everyone kind of spreads out and everyone's running around, crazy club, right? And then Skylar is with the pretty lady he was with before. And I kind of miss what happened here because this comes back later. But he was running down an alleyway or whatever, and she goes into a room or something, and the door closes behind her. I missed what happened here. And this is where she gets like the lasso around the neck and gets dusted.
Yeah.
And I think this comes back later on as like an emotional moment for Skylar, and everyone's just kind of like, yeah, whatever you did at the club. And I was like, what did he do? Did he just
allowed that woman to die. I mean, he locked the door. Like he locked the door in her face.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But still, like, meh. Like, I think he also just met her. It's not like they were close friends, right? I don't know.
It didn't seem like it. So
a lot of people died. Like all these people should be traumatized because they witnessed a lot of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So then they end up in a storage room or like a basement of the club, I think, right?
Yep. I think so, yeah.
And now it's like everyone's kind of pairing off, and now all of a sudden we got our two girls, we got our two guys, and then Skylar kind of ends up in the situation as well, right?
2 girls, 2 guys, and our weasel. Yep.
And our weasel. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely a weasel in this movie, right?
Yeah.
And then this was just weird. So they're down in this basement thing, and like it's just like sounds like total chaos is going on outside.
Yep.
Right. And it's just like clearly things are just getting messed up. Right. And it's just like really loud and like it was really jarring the way they was shot, and it was like jumping from all the characters. It was like super loud, and we're just like, what? Okay. So things are going on up there. And then it just faded out.
Yep.
This happens multiple times in the movie where just like something's going on.
Scene.
And then scene. Yeah. And it just fades to black. And I'm like, what?
It's called art, Russ.
Like what?
Try it sometime.
And then it fades back in, and then we're told it's Saturday.
Right.
This never happens again in the movie, where it just like it shows in the bottom of the screen where it just gives us a little thing. It says it's Saturday.
Yep.
And they're rolling up a body. I guess someone else that was down there with them. And then it's like now this is kind of like a montagey, showing us time passing, right?
Eating canned food and like
Then it's Sunday. Then it's Monday. Skylar and the boys are yelling at each other. Then it's Tuesday. They're still trapped. I was wondering, like, where are they taking shits and peeing down in this basement here? Like,
well, I mean, we find out in a second here.
It's been 3 days. Oh, do we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a line about it.
Oh man, maybe I missed that.
Yeah.
And I think it's Wednesday, right? Where they're like, okay, we got to do something. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so the guys start fighting with Skylar, and feeding the women, I guess, at the same time.
Emile gives one of them like a can of beans. He's like, here you go.
Yeah, it's weird.
What?
Okay. And then apparently it's been 27 hours since they last heard the things outside. So they've been sitting here for 4 days. Like we said, it's Tuesday now, and it's been a little over a day that they've heard nothing and still and this is when they Ben and Sean get in a little argument and say like, well, unless you want to stay down here pissing in tin cans forever. So apparently they've been pissing and shitting in the cans that they eat the beans out of. So,
okay. I mean, I guess that kind of tracks a little bit.
Sure.
Whatever. And then their plan is, now that it's quiet, is they're going to head to the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah. Why? It's not a good plan.
It's a terrible plan. But hey, I guess it's the best you got, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
So they pop open a door and they finally climb up to the upstairs of the club and, inside, and it's a total mess. Everyone's dead. Place is trashed, right?
Yep.
Start collecting some supplies. Emile Hirsch's character grabs a bag and starts throwing bottles of vodka into it, which is important for the very end of the movie. Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's also there's no bodies anywhere because they
vaporized.
Attempted to fix the consistency here. I think of everybody's vaporized, and yet they're all commenting it must have been a massacre out here. Why would you assume that? Maybe there are thousands of people doing exactly what you did for the last 4 days. I don't know.
So then, so they start kind of gathering some things together. They grab a map from a takeout menu or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Fine. And then this is the moment where Joel Kinnaman's character had his harshest of accents. And I was like, what accent is that? 2, you have an accent? 3, no. It disappears after the scene. And 4, it's just it's not good, whatever accent it's supposed to be.
Abysmal.
Yeah, it's very brutal. It's what? Why wouldn't you just redo that and be like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do this again with no accent? And then it does its classic fade to black.
Yep. And scene.
This is
when they say the obvious from earlier. It's a big city. There's got to be more people out there. Sure. Narrator, there wasn't. It's empty still.
It's very much empty. So then they head outside. They're on the Moscow streets here, kind of roaming around. Empty streets, except for a McDonald's ad that is kind of front and center. Love it, loving that dust. And the gang's kind of walking around. Then they start running around. There's cars litter the streets. It's kind of just abandoned. Yep. Everyone's obviously, it's kind of post-apocalyptic moment now.
Yep.
And then they're kind of heading down an alley, and then now to another empty street. And then they hear a noise, and this is where they come across some old lady who's bricking up her windows.
The ghosts are gonna kill you.
Yeah. Just so happens they caught her with the last 2 layers of bricks to go. And basically speaking Russian to 4 people who don't really speak Russian except for Joel Kinnaman's character, who we're not sure if he's supposed to be Russian or not. She kind of unloads a lot of exposition for at least us because we can see the subtitles. Basically tell them they're all going to die.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's moving along.
Yeah, it's not though. That's the thing. It's already dragging. We're probably 10 minutes into the movie.
This is probably a little bit longer than that, but we're probably around 20-minute mark. But I would say after this moment, the 30-minute mark on, it just starts dragging, and it's just so boring. It's painful. So then,
but that podcast won't be.
No way. We're keeping it lively, hopefully. So then they're just running around Russia, right? And they're totally lost.
Yep, exactly. And they come to a bridge that's broken, and there's a bridge that destroyed it.
A boat ran into the bridge right in the middle and just
it's dumb. And then finally at one point here, I don't know if we're quite there yet, but the Annie, who we don't know her name at this point.
We still don't know. Nope.
Again, the only one talking any kind of reason in this, she's well, this crew doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
A lot of doubt.
Good call. Yeah, great call.
Yeah. While they're all hovering over a menu, a map from a takeout menu.
So irritating.
But then her friend, she says, well, it's all they've got, so we might as well stick together, right? So then they are still running around an empty city. Mm-hmm. And then is this Red Square?
Maybe. Hard to say.
It looks like it's a pretty, whatever the famous square is in Russia or Moscow, this is it.
Let's ask our Russian listeners. Send us an email.
Yeah, let us
if
know.
You're not upset and didn't turn that off already. Yeah, let us know. What square is this? It looks beautiful. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should go to Moscow.
Absolutely. ITMT does Moscow.
Or St. Petersburg, yeah. But.
Yeah, definitely. So they, so there's just a cop car sitting in the middle of the square.
Right.
And they decide to make a run for it. Ben and Sean.
They decided to make a run for it because Ben, I think it's Ben that says, or it could be Sean, the cop car will have a better map. Why? Why would you assume that? Is that a known fact that Russian cops carry maps around?
Yeah, I think maybe breaking into like a convenience store or like
anywhere else.
A tourist shop would probably have a map. So
somebody's house, I don't know, like
but
a lot of options. Yeah. No, the cop car will have a better map.
Yeah, the one by itself sitting alone and
yeah, says it so matter of factly, just like, oh, of course. Why? Like this is a common movie trope. The cop cars always have maps.
Clearly.
Yeah. Anyway, then they grab a crowbar out of the cop car once they get to it.
Yeah. Which
they use to pry open the trunk. I was like, what are in Russian cop cars? I'm so confused.
I'll tell you, there's three things. There's crowbars, there's maps, and AK-47s in the trunk.
Right. That makes sense.
According to this movie. So, so they're in this. So Ben and Sean, who, by the way, I still don't think we know their names yet or have heard their names, but
nope.
I didn't think so. So they're by the car, they're grabbing supplies, pop the trunk, whatever, find a map, or I think they do, right? They tell the other three to go hide. So Skylar, Anne, and Annie or whatever, and Natalie, go hide. All of which we don't know anyone's character's name except for Skylar.
Right.
They pop the trunk, some supplies, AK-47s are in there. And then there's like a dog barking in the middle of the square. And then it's like, this is straight from the trailer. Dog's barking. And then all of a sudden you just dusted pooch.
Yeah, ruthless.
Yeah, it's pretty ruthless. And then the alien starts moving towards our guys here, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, unbelievably, they did find that map, right? Like, you talked about it, but like, you didn't describe it. It's like not like an atlas. It's like a yearbook that you put a map. Like, it's a huge hardcover book, right? Like, why would you make it this way? I don't know. Like, sorry, I'm hung up on it. It's frustrating.
Yeah, one of many things. So they scream at the girls to get inside because the alien's coming for them. Right.
Didn't realize there was an inside there.
I didn't either.
Get into.
Yeah, but okay, sure, why not? And then the alien's kind of slowly moving towards him, and we get alien vision again, which is really, really bad. We get a sense of like it's just everything is white noise, right? And it's like creeping towards the car, and they're trying to really build tension here, and it's really not working all that well. And it hovers over the car. So this is from the trailer too. It's hovering over the car. But the two of them decide to climb underneath it. I think Emile Hirsch's character is like, well, because it's something to do, right? And it's like
first they were sitting like behind it and like peeking out of it regularly, and then they were like, let's slide under it. And somehow the aliens can't see through or around or under the cars. There's no way to know. Apparently, if you're the alien,
no humans here.
Yeah. Well, like. Nailed it.
Guess we're good.
Yeah.
And then as the alien gets closer to the car, like the car starts lighting up, the headlights go off, like, the sirens kind of go off and everything else, right?
Yep.
And then it kind of moves on.
Yep. Going to do alien stuff, I guess.
Yep. I guess go do more alien stuff. And then the thing is invisible. Speaking
of, I was gonna say,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like the thing is invisible, kind of, right?
And
they're like, "Oh, is it gone?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so."
Yeah, like half the time it's invisible, half the time it's very visible. So
yeah,
I don't know what's real anymore. What I was gonna say was, speaking of go do some weird alien stuff, I think this is probably our cue to go do some weird alien stuff and stop the episode for.
Yeah, this feels like a solid part one wrapping up. So we have a lot of aliens. We got electricity stuff, a lot of problems there. Right now we got the gang of 5 kind of hanging out in, we believe, Red Square. And at this moment, once that happens, I think it just kind of fades out to black again. Which is perfect.
There's like
for us.
3/4 of the movie left.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to end there. So, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2. But in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, and we're ITMT Pod on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you can send us an email at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. And as always, you can find all of our episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com.